continue with our coverage of the floods, the deadly floods in KZN. Charity organizations have rallied to help those affected by those floods. One of them is Meals on Wheels that's delivered to over 40,000 people in the past week, but more is needed. To tell us more about this relief effort, we're joined by Nelisa Mabenge from Meals on Wheels. Thank you very much, Nelly, for joining us here on All Angles. I imagine how difficult it is, especially looking at the name of the organization, Meals on Wheels, but most of the roads, they are inaccessible.
Yes, absolutely. We are trying our best to work with the disaster task team to try and identify the areas where the communities cannot get to where our branches are in order to have access to food and clean water and blankets. We are also calling on any helicopter services at this point to try and perhaps assist us to reach those communities, to also identify them so that we can make sure that they are also not left behind in our distribution initiatives of food and clean water and blankets during this time.
Describe to us some of the devastating situations that you find as you go to these communities to give some support and relief.
It is so devastating. I think it's been an emotionally draining week for us. Some of our workers and also volunteers, we find ourselves in tears during our distribution and our assistance to the community. It's really emotionally draining, the visuals that we get to see, the communities that have been displaced, the children that have to go through this at a very delicate time in their lives. So I think it's been quite an emotional week that we have had also in assisting these communities. But we pray with them. We also assure to it that we make use of our caregiver services. We have very skilled psychologists and qualified psychologists who are part of our caregiving service provision, and they also help us to deal with these kind of emotional situations on the ground. But they most importantly, they help the communities with some emotional and mental impacts that they have suffered during this very difficult time. So I think this is one of the unique service provisions that Meals on Wheels does provide.
You also say in your statement that much more is needed. How much more is needed? I can only imagine with some people who've basically lost everything, they're going to need quite a lot to sustain them for the next couple of weeks.
Yes, absolutely. We have embarked on a few partnerships so that we can make sure that we expand on our outreach. So we are very, very thankful to some of our strategic partners such as Pick and Pay, Food Lovers, Bacardi, Pure Gas, and Aquel, etc. These are some of the partners that have come on board to partner with Meals on Wheels to make sure that we provide them with the necessary clean water that they need. One of the main essentials, other than food, is actually clean water for the communities, the displaced communities to drink, and also the blankets. As you know that we've entered into the winter season at the moment, blankets are of a high necessity as well. So we have embarked on a blanket distribution drive and also on providing clean water to the displaced communities. Over and above that, we have also embarked on a dignity drive, which is basically consisting of a dignity drive pack that has all the sanitary and toiletry requirements for the displaced communities as well. So we have packaged those as part and parcel of our new focus area moving forward. What you will find happening now is that most communities after this devastating disaster are trying to put their lives together again, and we need to assist them as best as we can. And part of this initiative is also to make sure that we provide them with food parcels. This is very critical as they try to piece back together their lives and rebuild their homes.
All right, Nelisa Mabenge, thank you very much for speaking to us here on All Angles. She's from the organization Meals on Wheels.